It's the third week of the month here, and that means since I have my subscription through MattyCollector.com, I get a shipment. And I only have the DC Club Infinite Earths subscription, so I got Mirror Master. And it comes in the mailing box right here. And you open it up to get this box with the signature on top there. Mirror Master on the side. You get the nice art, and on the back you get a full art, nice picture of him stepping out of a mirror. And you get the little write-up here as well. And getting to the figure, there he is. And he's a very nice sculpt here. I really like the head, face, and the little kerchief sculpt that they have going on here. All around the neck. That's nice. I've liked that they've included holsters for the figure and his weapons. And I really like these bracer pieces. I think they're pretty newly sculpted piece. Overall, the body is really kind of your basic buck. Paint-wise, he's pretty good. He's a nice color green. Very cleanly painted, except for really some spots on the boots. You can see they're mostly on this boot there. So for accessories, they've included his mirror weapons, or guns, and they do kind of fit a little bit too loose in the hands, but he will grip them okay. I find the left hand is a little bit looser than the right hand. But what's neat about this, they could have just had it in the closed position, but they decided to come up with this system where you can have his mirror weapon. You just unplug the front of it, and you can plug in the open version, and there's his mirror gun ready to be deployed against the Flash or any other hero. Kudos to Mattel for doing that, because they really didn't have to, and especially in this line that was basically reprints. I'm glad they did it, because we could have just gotten the figure with no guns and weapons. I just do want to mention that the holsters do open, and you can fit the guns in there with the closed tip there. They do fit in there. It is a tight fit, and they do not, however, really clip in and fasten when they're in like that. Also to note that these do come off. You see there's like a little keyhole shape there that you can match to a peg on the belt. So you can take them off if you think they look too ridiculous. And it is a little bit hard to get them closed once they are opened like that. You gotta really force it, really kind of manipulate it then there so that it catches. One other thing about the design, I do like how they did the little trigger guard here. They left it open, but if it's close enough, it does look like he's gripping around the trigger guard if you position it just right. Now for articulation, his head does go left and right, but his chin does catch on the bottom of the kerchief, or the top of the kerchief there, and his head does seem to be a little tight once you get past a certain spot here. There seems like a really lot of resistance to it, and I don't want to force it back any more. But his head does go up a little bit, that far you can see, and down a little bit. You gotta watch the chin on the kerchief part as well. Yeah, and you can even get a little bit of side to side on there and give him a nice little cock to his head, and it does give a lot of personality to the figure. Now his arms do go all the way around, out, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and rotate at the wrist. Ab crunch, very nice. Waist articulation. This belt does get a little bit in the way, but it is soft enough to move, so you still get a pretty much full range of motion there. Legs go forward, back, out to the side, rotate at the thigh, bend at the knee, and bend at the ankle. Standard DC Universe Classics articulation. Now, on my particular figure, the right leg is a little loose, as you can see. And my left leg here was a little bit tight. So tight that it only just really loosened right before I filmed this. So out of the package, I really couldn't even move it until just prior to filming. If you just work it a little bit, maybe very carefully, don't force it, it will eventually move. But just, you know, if you do get this guy, watch out for that. Now, Mirror Master first appeared. There have actually been several Mirror Masters. His first appearance was Sam Scudder in Flash 105 back in 1959. Yeah, 1959. So he's a pretty old character, one of the first Silver Age villains, and like I said, big Flash villain. And Sam Scudder he's just a regular convict who, when he was put away in jail, became obsessed with mirrors and reflections, and somehow developed a technology to create, to use mirrors to create reflections, holograms, to become invisible, even going so far as to somehow breach into other dimensions, so they could actually trap people in intricate alternate realities. He could travel from one mirror through the dimensions into any other reflective surface, and or through any other reflective surface and back into the real world. And he can also use that dimensional travel as to communicate across vast distances, basically having conversations between two reflections. Now, Sam Scudder died during the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I can't remember if it was... I think a shadow creature, one of the anti-monitor shadow creatures killed him. I'm not quite sure. But he did die, and we get a second Mirror Master, who is actually another rogue. That's right, it's Captain Boomerang, who, during his time with the Suicide Squad, he used a uniform and weapons that he somehow got from one of Scudder's old hideouts, and committed crimes as the Mirror Master so as to not be blamed for any crimes while he was part of the Suicide Squad. However, this failed, and the powers that be who were in charge of the Suicide Squad did find out, and they took away the uniform and the weapons. And that's where the third Mirror Master comes in, and his name is, as it says on the back of the package, Evan McCulloch. He's, of Scottish descent, and he first appears in Animal Man number 8 in 1989, and he's created by Grant Morrison, so it's, maybe it's no mistake that he is Scottish. But Evan McCulloch was abandoned at an orphanage as a baby, with only a photo of his parents and a first name, Evan. And he took the name of one of the women that was in charge of the orphanage. And he had a very hard time of it in this orphanage. He was actually sexually assaulted by an older boy whom he killed in self-defense. And he never is caught for this crime, and he leaves the orphanage at age 16. And from there he goes to Glasgow and becomes a hitman and assassin for hire. And one day he realizes that one of his targets was his father, but it's not until after he kills them that he realizes who the target was. So he finds his mother at the funeral of his father, but he can't really bring himself to confront her yet. And a couple of days later, before he gets the courage to go and see her, she commits suicide from grief. And he is then really guilted into turning himself in. However, he's intercepted by a consortium of U.S. business and government agents who are running their own little, conspiracy shadow government, if you will. And he's given the uniform and weapons of Sam Scudder and told to do their bidding. Now, he does eventually break away from these, from this conspiracy with the help of Animal Man, and strikes off on his own, and eventually does become part of the Rogues. So he's always remained a big part of the Rogues, the villains of the Flash. And he's been portrayed in different media by actually quite a lot. In the Super Friends, he was voiced in one episode during, I think it's the Superpowers Galactic. No, it's one of the later Super Friends seasons, and he's portrayed by Casey Kasem. He does get a sort of analog in the Flash television series of the 90s, the live-action television series, where he's portrayed by David Cassidy. Yes, from the Partridge Family. Of course, he has quite a few appearances in the animated series. He first appears in the Justice League during well, it's really not him, it's a actor portraying Mirror Master. He does appear in several Justice League Unlimited episodes, particularly the Flash in Substance episode that focuses on obviously the Flash, and during that he's portrayed by in voice only by Alexis Denisof, who you might know as Wesley of Buffy and Angel. He does make an appearance on the Batman series, voiced by John Larroquette, and I find it funny that they gave the character white hair in that episode, and, maybe as a nod because John Larroquette has white hair in real life. In Batman Brave and the Bold, he's voiced by Tom Kenny, who you might know as the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants. And Alexis Denisof also reprised his role in the recent direct-to-video Justice League movie, Justice League Doom. And so he's had quite a varied appearance on or in media. I guess that will be it. Stay tuned for the next Club Infinite Earths DC Signature Series figure, which will be Black Mask. And until then, I'll see you.